Hey everyone, Golden Ninja 3000 here again. I'm super excited to be bringing you guys another collection video today. This time it is for all of the 2022 Avatar sets. These are all based on the first movie. We're going to have different ones coming out for the second movie in January of 2023, but I thought we would just chat about what's missing and what I like so much about these sets. There are 4 sets in total. At the back left over there, we've got Neytiri and Thanator versus AMP Suit Quaritch. That was $45. In the front, we've got RDA Site 26 or Floating Mountains Site 26 and RDA Samson. All of these sets have quite the mouthful for names. That one is $100. Then in the middle, we have the most iconic one, in my opinion, Jake and Neytiri's first Banshee flight for $60. And then we have the biggest one, which is, of course, my absolute favorite. It is Toruk Makto and the Tree of Souls, and that retails for $150 US. So I have done individual reviews on all of these sets. You can check that out on my channel right now. But we're going to be taking a little bit of a different approach. I'm going to talk about like the nature builds, the military builds, the Pandoran like animals, and then we'll finish off with the minifigures. Here are the 3 RDA builds we get across this line. Of course, we've got Quaritch's mech suit, which is also like an iconic part of the movie, in my opinion. And this is really well designed. Like I said, I've already reviewed all of these, so I'm not going to spend too much time on them, but I was pretty impressed with it in my review. And it's got a very nice interior cockpit space for any minifigure to go into that. And then I also surprisingly liked the Samson helicopter a lot more than I expected. I'm not usually a huge fan of LEGO helicopter builds, but this one, like the mech suit, is extremely well put together. I love the printed windshield piece. You have a 2-seater cockpit, which is great in something this small. And then you could easily cram like 4 more minifigures inside here, probably 5 even if you really squeezed them. So I think that that is really awesome, and it is a pretty unique design. And then lastly, we have Site 26 itself. This is something that I feel like LEGO could have done a bit of a better job on, because I feel like it could be bigger. It is very small. It is like quite minifigure scale, like properly. It's not super oversized, which is nice, but I was just kind of wanting a little bit more from it, because inside you've only got Jake's like little avatar pod and then like a tiny little workstation, and it really would have been great to see more. And on the topic of more, you know, this is like technically a what's missing video, because I feel like that's a good thing to talk about with these collection videos. And I feel like for the RDA, you're not really missing much. I mean, yeah, it would be nice to have maybe like a piece of the larger base, but it's not super necessary. Like Site 26, I think definitely serves that purpose well enough. The only thing I could really ask for, given how well designed the vehicles are, I think it would have been really cool to see like a $120 set of the big ship. I think it was called the Valkyrie that Quaritch was flying at the end of the movie. Next, we're moving on to the Pandoran animals, and I think that we get a really great little selection here, although I would have liked to have seen even more. We do have a bunch of really cool flying creatures, but we'll start out with the land-based ones. The only the only molded creatures that we have are the dire horses, which are larger than a regular LEGO horse mold. I did see a comparison online. Unfortunately, I can't compare them to a regular LEGO horse here, but you can just see next to a minifigure, they are quite large, and I love them. Like, I really like this mold. I think that the 6 legs are wonderful. I just wish the head could move, but I do like that you get 2, because that's like the start of a nice little herd. I'm glad that, you know, they have a friend to hang out with. The Thanator is probably my least favorite of these animals, just because I think it is a little bit clunkier than some of the other ones. Because it's brick built, like, that's just the nature of these things, you know? Like, the legs, I think, look a little bit blocky, but that's not like a negative or anything. I still think that this looks great. It has a brand new molded head, and you can open and close the jaw. And all of the animals do have these, like, flexible tail pieces that will connect. Sorry. This guy's mouth is hard to open. I guess that's the other reason he's like one of my least favorites, because unless you have nails, you really have to wrench his jaws open. But all of these animals can be ridden, and then they can just connect to a Navi's hair to simulate like that connection from the movie. But yeah, I just think that this guy doesn't look quite as well finished as some of the other ones. And then we get to the flying guys. I always loved these in the movie, the Banshees, because they remind me of pterodactyls, because, you know, they are giant flying lizards. I really like the new molds for the heads. But like the vinyl wings, they look really good. I just don't like them because like they curl up at the edges. They're very easy to crease. I feel like they're very easy to damage. And even though these sets are really built for display, even though they're still aimed at kids, I wish that they were cloth or like a mix of like brick built and like cloth and vinyl or something, because yeah, like I just feel like they're constantly going to get damaged. And that is something I talked about in my reviews. But the vinyl does give it a really nice glossy appearance that I think is perfect. The only other thing I wish with these guys is that they have legs, because like they don't have any legs. And I believe the legs are actually connected to like the back wings in the movie. And I don't know why Lego didn't do that, because I feel like it would have been very, very simple to do that and just have them like be able to rest on the ground. So this is Neytiri's Banshee, I'm pretty sure. And then this is Jake's, basically the exact same build, just in a different color. And it is very pretty. And then we've got the big one, the Toruk. And this guy, I thought I would like him more than I do. And part of the reason for that is because of the wings. Like I've been saying, check out my reviews for more information. I do really like the head on him. I think that it is very imposing. And this thing looks amazing on display. It's just that the vinyl's like very droopy. It doesn't like look the best. Like you can't like even take advantage of all of these functions because it's going to just degrade it over time. And this is one that I really think could have been better. But like I said, it does look really cool on display, even given all of those issues. As for what's missing in this section, I feel like we could have done with some smaller animals. Like, where are the like little dire wolves that would run around, the ones that like almost killed Jake in the forest? That would have been a great new mold to get. I hope we'll get it in the future. And then I know that they're like plants and not animals, but they're kind of jellyfish-like. But like those will-o'-the-wisp things that like kept floating down from around the tree, I'm very surprised that Lego didn't include those as like an actual build here. And now finally we get to the nature builds. These are present in every single set because obviously the nature of Pandora is very important in the movie, you know, environmentalism, all that. But Lego's versions, like, they're really cool and they do connect, which we will try out in just a second. First, I wanted to get this thing out of the way. This is the Tree of Souls. It's cool. It does not dangle as well as it should, but this is the one build that doesn't connect to anything else. So I'm just going to go ahead and remove it from the group so that we can see all of the builds that do actually connect together. And the reason why I love these avatar sets so much is because all of these, or for the most part, all of these builds double as display stands. So on this one from the Neytiri and Thanator set, you can pose the Thanator there. For the Banshee set, one Banshee goes up there, one Banshee goes down there. These are the two kind of like floater pieces that don't really connect anywhere. This one is for the Samson helicopter, and then the big one is obviously for the big Toruk. And before we connect them, I do want to talk about the builds a little bit more. There are pretty consistent like color schemes and designs going throughout all of these. I love like the red bladed pieces. I really like these big pink leaves, and there are glow in the dark crown pieces scattered throughout, which are like my favorite flower pieces. And I guess maybe these were supposed to represent like those will-o'-the-wisp things. But I don't think they're like that great of a job at it. Like they look really good, but I don't think that they really look like those things in the movie. And my favorite build here is, of course, the big one, just because it's got the most pieces put into it, so it definitely looks the best. I mean, just compare it to, like, the one from the AMP suit set. This one does have pretty interesting plants, like, I like these things, but the rock work on this one is just so much better compared to any of the others. So we're going to go ahead and connect these like it shows in the instruction manuals. Then I'll show you guys the glow-in-the-dark pieces, and then at the end, I'll show you guys how all of the sets look fully connected together. This is the connection method that Lego suggests in the back of the instruction manuals, and it actually looks really good. It does create this kind of like wall of nature builds, which is interesting because it kind of creates like a fenced-in play area. So this configuration, I think it definitely works better for play than for display. Because, for example, when I actually put this on a shelf, it's not going to fit like this. You can bring the sides in a little bit more, so I'll zoom up in a second and show that to you guys. But like you need quite a large space with a lot of depth and a lot of height if you wanted to display everything like this. But you can adjust and of course rearrange the sections. This is like the single largest section besides like the Toruk like display area that you can't adjust because unfortunately these are locked at a specific angle. Like the kind of side wings of this build from the Thanator set. So that this is where the Thanator attaches, by the way. But yeah, you can like, I hope none of this disconnects, but you can like bring this in a decent amount. And let's go ahead and switch focus to everything else. And you can bring this side in as well. So you, ooh, could you even connect them? You can connect them right here. And then there you go. Now you have like a true little kind of like playpen for your avatar sets. I actually think that this is pretty great. The only problem is that it kind of limits like the space to put stuff inside. Like I don't think you would have room for everything between like the animals and the Tree of Souls. But you can, but like, yeah, but I like, sorry, I'm like stammering a lot. I like that you can close everything up, but you can also spread it out. To me, this is a great like feature of the avatar sets. And of course, these are like completely interchangeable. So you can do anything you want with them. But I don't really feel like messing around with it a ton. I do think that this is going to be the best format because the helicopter will be displayed there. Jake and Neytiri's Banshees will go here. And to me, like this piece does have to be at probably this end. If it was on this end, it would end up being backwards. And if you tried putting it in the middle, then the Banshees would just kind of get in the way of everything else. But now it's time to test the glow-in-the-dark function. So I've got my UV flashlight. I'm going to go ahead and charge up all of the glow-in-the-dark pieces. And hopefully we'll be able to see most of them, although I do have the ends curled in a little bit, so some might be obscured. But we've got, like I said, glow-in-the-dark pieces all over these builds, like a lot of flowers and stuff like that. And the Jake and Neytiri set has like some carrot pieces. So let me go ahead and hit the lights. And that is an incredible glow. Like in person, this is really, really effective. And if you have a UV flashlight like that, you can really, really charge it up. And I'm gonna go take my extra glow-in-the-dark pieces and add a bunch more of this bioluminescence to this display. Now it's minifigure time, and then I'll show you guys my final display at the end of the video. We've got 8 Na'vi figures, 9 if you want to count Norm Spellman, which I do not. I count him with the humans, so to me he is the 5th human minifigure, but in reality you only get 4 actual like human-sized characters. As for what's missing here, honestly the only thing LEGO could have done differently is give us generic Na'vi or generic soldiers. I don't really need generic soldiers. I don't want minifigure slots wasted on that. And while I would have loved some generic Na'vi, honestly, you can just use your duplicate Jake and Neytiri's as generic ones. All three variants of each Jake and Neytiri are all different. We will take a closer look at them in just a second. I do want to get the humans out of the way first, though. Jake in his wheelchair, I think, is the second best human figure. And yeah, the Na'vi have the long legs, so they do tend to fall over, so I'll just leave them there. I think that he is the second best human figure. My favorite one, though, is Dr. Grace Augustine, Sigourney Weaver's character. To me, this is like a perfect LEGO minifigure. I am very happy with it. The only thing is, to me, this is the most glaring omission from the Avatar theme. Why don't we have a Na'vi version of her? She was a much more important character than Norm, who I literally didn't know existed before I rewatched the movie in theaters recently. And I like this minifigure for giving us a different face print and giving us tan, long limbs. That is really nice. Sorry, dark tan, because of course this shirt is regular tan. But I really don't think we needed him. Honestly, in my opinion, he could have been missing. I know this is a what's missing video, and they do cover like pretty much every main character, but I think that he could be missing and we should have gotten Grace Augustine's avatar instead. I think that that was a really important figure for LEGO to make that they just didn't. And it's not like they couldn't have made it, you know, like there aren't that many minifigures in these sets. They easily could have included a few more, even though these ones are so big. For example, the $150 set only comes with 4 Na'vi. That is very, very light. That's even less than what mini doll sets come with nowadays. So I feel like she should have come in the Tree of Souls set in her Na'vi form. Trudy and Colonel Quaritch are both good figures. Quaritch could have done with another face, but because it would show on the back of his head, I understand why LEGO didn't do that. And I like the prints on both of them, so no real complaints here. And then as for the Na'vi themselves, as I said, you get 3 different versions of Jake. So here are 2 of them. This is his kind of like plain version, which I do like. It just looks really clean. Then you've got this version with some war paint. I think this is the Toruk Makto version of him. I'm not 100% sure. Sorry, I don't even remember which ones which sets these guys came in. or this might be the Torok Makto version, because this is the one that's like decked out with all of the face paint. I think this is the one from the Torok Makto set, because this is the one that's like fully suited up and ready for battle. And as you will see with Neytiri, she's got basically the same thing. You get a clean version of the character, you get a version with the same torso print and then just a different like headpiece, and then you have her fully like war painted version ready to go into battle. And honestly, across all of these, I like the middle versions the least, like the guys with just like some stuff on their faces. I don't really care about them. I like the full war paint versions because I think that those look really nice together. And then I also like the like fully clean versions because I think that they look great together as well. Our last two Na'vi are Moat, the clan leader, and Tsute, who I believe Neytiri was supposed to get married to. I do not like his face print. I get what they were going for. I think it looks kind of like the character, but not enough like him to like warrant all that. Like, I don't know. I just don't like the face print. Moat looks okay. Again, I don't think she looks excessively like the character in the movie. You guys know I would have really preferred molded noses on these heads rather than printed. And also, I think that we need Neytiri's father. Speaking of what's missing, I think Neytiri's father is missing. He was very important to the movie and to Neytiri as a character, and I think that he easily could have been in the Tree of Souls set, even though he was dead by the time that scene happened. And I guess that is also like what could be missing in terms of a set. Besides like the big RDA ship, I think we could have gotten Home Tree as a set. But to be honest, I don't think that that would be a super interesting set. So it's something that LEGO could visit in the future if they wanted to do a direct-to-consumer set or something like that. But I don't think it's like super necessary. So here's my final avatar display. This video has taken me much longer to film than I expected, but I do think it was worth it because these sets look beautiful when they are all displayed together just in a line like this. I'm blown away by it. We have like a perfect little corner to the left with like all of the RDA vehicles and Neytiri converging on Site 26 just like she did in the movie, because that is where she battled Quaritch. We've got the Tree of Souls as the big centerpiece, and then all of the flying creatures just like surrounding it. And I think that all of that just looks, it looks really, really fantastic. Like I love these LEGO Avatar sets. I know that my reviews didn't do that well, so I guess I might be in the minority there, because it doesn't seem like this has high interest, at least maybe not on my channel. But I really think that you guys should give these sets a chance. They are really well designed. They are beautiful display pieces. And surprisingly, they're not as overpriced as I originally expected. I don't really think we're missing a lot from the first movie. I think that we could have done with maybe a couple more minifigures, maybe like another set or two. But overall, I'm really happy, and I am very much looking forward to the sets for The Way of Water. So let me know what you guys think about the LEGO Avatar collection in the comments down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe as well, and I'll see you guys in more videos soon. Bye for now.